Yo, what's good, Raider Nation family? As everybody knows, Antonio Pierce is no longer with the Silver and Black Raider Nation. Mark Davis and I'm sure Tom Brady have decided to cut ties with Antonio Pierce after 1 year. He is one and done. You know, I just want to say shout out to Antonio Pierce. Thank you for the year and a half. It's been exciting. It's been fun. You did change the culture. You made it worth wanting to watch games again, to, people to know what it feels like to be part of the Raider Nation. And shout out to you for that. Hopefully, you get another job and move on. But who is the next in line? Of course, Mike Vrabel is, heads on the list. He also has already had an interview with the Jets. Lawrence, my guy, was good. The Patriots job is available. Will Mike Vrabel choose the Raiders over the Patriots? That is a huge question. I don't know, why he would. His dream job, like Antonio Pierce's dream job to be a Raider, is to be a Patriot and to be a Patriots head coach. So, I don't want Vrabel in the building, but if it happens, I'm not going to be mad at it because the Shield, Raiders, that's what I care about. I don't give a fuck who's running, excuse my language. I don't care who's running this team, who the quarterback is, as long as it's a winning quarterback and a winning head coach, and as long as they bring a winning fucking culture, flipping culture, sorry for the language, back, to Raider Nation. We're tired of losing. If you're an old fan like me, or, if you're a fan in the 20s, you don't know what it's like to win. And seeing the Raiders this season lose 10 games in a row has to be heartbreaking as a Raider fan, whether you're young, old, whether you're 5 or 65. It's heartbreaking to watch a team lose by double digits. 12 games this year? 12 games by double-digit losses. So, I wanted to see Antonio Pierce have a shot. I wanted to see what he could do with a full year, with being able to run the team the way he wanted to run it. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that. Hopefully, with whoever the next coach is, he will get time to, to bring in his culture, to develop the team he wants, the way he wants to develop them. And I don't think anybody's had that except for Gruden. And, we know how the John Gruden worked out. It didn't turn out very good. There's talks maybe John Gruden could be back. I got to find my glasses before I can read this chat. I don't know where they are. Well, shit. All right, guess I'm not reading the chat. And I don't know why it's gray. I can't see that shit anyways. Can y'all see the chat? Hold up. Give me a minute. Time out. I gotta see what Lawrence, my guy, has to say because I know he is tickled pink. Salute. I'm telling you, Kellen Moore. Okay. All right. I'm not mad about that. Shane Butler in the building. Why is the chat going so fast? I can't get back up to it. Well, all right. So, Rick in the building. Salute, salute. What's good, what's good? John Leon. Gruden won't be back, right? OMG, as Tom Telesco is there. Yeah. I don't think Gruden's going to be back anyways. I think he will have a job. Definitely will have a job probably this year. But it won't be with us. Well, would you look at that? What are we looking at? Cowtown Luda in the building. So what do y'all think? Let me know in the chats. Who's next in line? Do you want to see an extensive coaching search, or do you feel like, Vrabel's pretty much a lock? All signs are pointing to Mike Vrabel if he doesn't take the Patriots job. I'm just not sold on Vrabel. The last couple days I've been watching some interviews, and I ask you to do the same. Go back on YouTube and watch some of the interviews with Mike Vrabel and tell me that's the guy you want coaching this team. Like, I know he's hard nosed and all that, but man, I just don't think it's what we need at this point. I think we need a young, innovative, the next John Gruden. Which, are you going to find the next John Gruden? I don't know, but there are plenty of guys out there. I would prefer Kellen Moore, but then go get Rabel tomorrow. I don't think they're gonna get Rabel tomorrow. They're gonna explore their avenues. I hope. Vrabel is a drill sergeant, and he's also an asshole. And he don't take no shit. He's a no nonsense kind of guy. But some of his interviews, just man, I don't know. That's not gonna sit well with Raider Nation. I guarantee you. Am I able to see your comments? Hawaiian Candy, what's good? Yes, I can see your comment. But I can't scroll back up, so if I miss them, they're gone. So if I don't read your comment, it's gone. But yeah, so let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think about Antonio Pierce being gone? My opinion is I think they did the man absolutely dirty, and I think this organization, that's where we're at. That's where we've been for a long time. That's the culture of this organization, is doing people dirty. I mean, the list goes on and on, from Marcus Allen to, Charles Woodson, Derek Carr, Del Rio. I mean, you could think McKenzie, I thought, was doing a good job. They let him go. It's just a constant turnaround. And the way they go about it, like, I think letting Antonio Pierce come out there, with his chest popped out, had that big smile that he hasn't seen in a long time, had a whole different swag to him, like he was keeping the job, like the job was his. And then he wakes up the next morning to Mark Davis coming in his office saying we're going another route. Like, I thought that was shitty, to let the nation on, because a lot of people there was already content creators saying, I told the world, we're always right on this channel. AP is the coach forever. Like, check out my shirt I made, all that bullshit. And I can't help but laugh. I can't help but sit back and laugh, because I said from the jump, Antonio Pierce probably won't be the coach. Do I want him to? Yes, I think he doesn't deserve it, but I think he earned it with, the shit that he went through, not trusting his gut. But then again, you have to look at the fact that he didn't trust his gut, right? And if you're not man enough to trust your gut, do you really want a man like that as your head coach? So there is that. There is the fact, with personnel that I've been bitching about all year, the Dylan Labe fact, going with Gardner instead of Aiden, and then he said he wanted to go with Aiden after week 5. That's bullshit, because you could have went with Aiden after week 5. What happened? Like, if we're all gonna what HC that will last more than 2 seasons, take our time doing the research. I mean, 100%. And I've said a million times on this channel, Mike LaFleur, bro, I'm telling you, his brother is killing it. He comes from that Sean McVay coaching tree. What more can you ask for? Look at the list of coaches that come from the Sean McVay coaching tree and what they're doing in the NFL right now. Almost all the guys that have been offensive coordinators are wide receiver coaches, our quarterback coaches, are all coaching in this league somewhere, and they're killing it. They're all pretty much killing it. So, his brother Matt LaFleur is killing it in Green Bay. He was also a Sean McVay guy. Sean McVay is, to me, one of the most brilliant minds in football right now. Like, his systems are wild. Look what he's done with Matthew Stafford, who couldn't win, couldn't get his team to the playoffs in Detroit. He comes to the LA Rams in Sean McVay's system, and boom, overnight, they're in the Super Bowl. So, I'm telling you, people out of Sean McVay's system is who Mark Davis needs to go look at. And if you're listening, Mark Davis, or anybody from the staff, just do your research. Check out Mike LaFleur. I'm telling you, call him up. Look at his resume. He's been part of the Shanahan tree. The man has been around coaching for 12 years. His brother has been around coaching, his whole life. It runs in the family, bro. These guys it's in their blood, and I think he'd be a damn good coach. Shane, what's good? I swear, Raider Nation, it needs one more year. I can't believe we're in this shit. Bro, it's going to be more than one more year. I mean, you got Max Crosby coming on saying now You know, he shouldn't have been involved in the coaching shit. He's gonna stay out of it. It's not his avenue or whatever he said. You know, basically he ain't trying to be a part of this shit. Um, so very interesting. Brady is hiring the new head coach. I mean, we'll see. There ain't been no talks of Brady interviewing anybody. So far, it's been Mark Davis. Tom Brady's gonna have his say, but he's not allowed to be in the interview room. From what I know, from what I've read, as long as he's part of Fox, he can't be in the room. You know, he might be able to be on the Zoom calls. I don't know how that works, but as far as I know, now I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It is a clusterfuck, man. It is. It really, really is. All right, let's see what this says. I don't know if I'm gonna lose y'all. Yep, I can't pull it up. Damn it. Well, shit. You know, I read off a list of names last night in my live of offensive coordinators. I thought Raider Ryan was good. You know, I thought I could come in and help this team if Antonio Pierce was still the coach. But apparently, those are null and void. You know, what happens with the staff? There's been no reports of the staff. Usually when a coach is fired, you know, they let go most of the staff that he brought in. And, you know, some guys he didn't bring in. Patrick Graham was already there. I think Rob Ryan was already in the building. Who else? Robbie Leonard was already in the building. So do we keep those guys around? Is the next coach that comes in willing to keep those guys around? Or are they just going to clean house and let everybody go? They said it on Twitter for the people who are working on ESPN. What'd they say? I can't scroll back, so I missed it. You have to type it in again. Oh, that Brady will interview all candidly. What the fuck you mean? We just keep effing up every year, and it keeps getting worse, damn it. Look, there is one positive note. I don't want to be negative, Nancy. You know me on this channel. I try as much as possible to root for everybody that's on this team, everybody that's coaching it, everybody that owns it, runs it. And we got to look at the positives. You know, Antonio Pierce did leave us with some damn good rookies that a lot didn't get play time that I thought should have been on the field, but that's another subject. You know, and he left us in a good spot. Like, I don't know how the locker room is going to be. Fuck, did I forget to take out the trash today? Shit. You know, I don't know how the locker room is going to be with the turnaround or with the new coach. But it's the NFL, right? It's the NFL. It's what they get paid to do. And these players are going to play, hopefully, for that, right? For that right there. Boom. Hopefully that's why they're in the building. Hopefully they're playing for the shield. And, you know, it doesn't matter who the head coach is. I mean, it matters because you got to get along. You got to, you know, buy into a system or that shit's never going to work. So how long will it take for them to gel? How long will it take, you know, for them to buy into the system? Is there enough guys, you know, with that mentality that they could just, you know, change overnight and buy in and still be the same players? How many players are going to want out knowing that, you know, this is the situation? Don't get involved with your head coach, right? Don't get attached to your head coach. Don't become friends with your head coach. Like, and it's a hard business because especially when you're in the Raiders organization, you never know if the guy next to you is going to be here, you know, half the season, let alone a full season, or the next year, whether under contract or not. So that's going to be a big question. A lot of people are really going to start to question, you know, their stability in this organization if they come back, or even guys that are under contract now. Maybe that's why Devontae wanted out. Maybe he's seen the writing on the wall and was like, bro, AP is out. I'm out. Who knows? We all jumped on Devontae and was like, bro, this dude is trash. He's a diva. He don't want to be a Raider. Maybe Devontae's seen the writing on the wall. He's been in the league a long time. Maybe he was like, bro, Antonio Pierce is out the door, and I'm not going to be involved in another rebuild with a team that don't have a quarterback. Like, I mean, not that he's in a better situation, but he couldn't choose his spot. So, um, this is terrible that he got fired. It's a business, man. It is what it is. I missed the comment above. I don't like the way they let AP go. Right? He wasn't a McDummy. He deserved respect, letting him do in the presser. However, take over, keep Rob Ryan, Robbie Leonard defensive line, and Joe Philbin on the O line. I just don't. I don't see that happening. I mean, unless do we promote within? Let me ask this question. Mark Davis did a search, right? For the last day and a half. Where we at? Tuesday? Wednesday? I don't even know. For the last, couple days since the season was over, he's been in the building interviewing the staff members. So, do they go in-house? Is there somebody in-house that maybe Mark Davis is like, damn, this dude did a damn good job all year long? I mean, I don't know. There are guys in the building. There is Mike Caldwell, the linebacker coach who was the coach for the Jaguars, I do believe, or the defensive coach for the Jaguars. People were talking about him getting a head coaching job. You do have Luke Steckel in the building, the tight end coach who's been around, Vrabel's system, as a matter of fact, been around many systems in the NFL. There is still talent in the field. Joe Philbin. I mean, look what he did with the offensive line. So, could they go that way? Could they hand Rob Ryan a job? You like Patrick Graham to be all right? Nah, bro. Nah. Let Patrick Graham move on. He already said he's tired of losing. The man doesn't want to be here. Last year, this was the best job he possibly could have had. He was great, loves the players. He's never had a better job, never had, a better time with the players, so he said. And then this year, it's a different story. And I think he's seen the writing on the wall, too. It was like, AP's not going to be back. Everybody's going to be down the road, and they're keeping Telesco. So it's the Telesco show. The Telesco show. Mark Davis has said Tom Brady will be involved in all the operations. Involved. But Tom Telesco will have the final say. And remember, like 3 weeks ago, when that report came out, I said he didn't even include Antonio Pierce. So I think the writing was already on the wall. Anthony Estrada was good. Salute, Rebel. It happened. Your thoughts? I wanted him to stay one more year. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to see what he can do one more year. But I think the way they went about it, and I just said this and I'm repeating myself, but coming out on stage, after the game, coming out yesterday, Monday, with your chest sticking out, had a little swag to him. It looked like he had some confidence, and it looked like he thought he was going to be the coach because he wasn't fired on Sunday. It looked like he thought he was going to be the guy, and then bam, he's not. So, I thought they should have maybe did it a little bit more respectfully and just fired him on Sunday and, let him know a couple days ahead and say, look, bro, this is your last game. We've already done the evaluation. You're not the guy. I don't know what there was to evaluate, really. Like, AP fired, thank God. LVR is dancing naked in his bedroom with a bottle. No, shout out. I mean, it is what it is. All we can do now is sit and wait and see, what happens. What happens? Is it Patrick Graham? Who's replacing Patrick Graham? There's a lot of questions. Is he gone? Does he take over head coaching job? He's interviewing for the Jacksonville job. Patrick Graham is, and also Patrick Graham is interviewing for the Tennessee Titans defensive coordinator job. Which, man, not the Tennessee Titans. Sorry, the Bengals. My bad. Misrepresentation. They are never nice about it. Yeah, but man, you got to learn from your father's mistakes, right? You know, everybody, some people are fans of the Raiders because Al Davis was such a dick in the way he went about firing people that deserved to be fired like that. There was some guys in this organization that deserved to be fired, the way they were put up on a teleprompter. That shit was classic, right? That shit's classic. It's hilarious. But, come on, man. I can't. I'm on my phone, so I can't do shit, and it's sitting on top of the computer right now, which I don't know why I'm on my phone on top of a damn computer. But I was gonna read the letter that the Raiders put out letting AP go. But basically, the one part I do remember, it says, "Thank Antonio Pierce for showing this organization and the staff what it means to be a Raider again." Which, damn, that's some rough shit. That's rough, bro. Like, that's how you gonna do them like that? Hey, thanks for making everybody in the building smile. Happy to be a Raider during shit times. Thanks for keeping the morale up. Thanks for keeping the team fighting. But here's your pink slip. You gotta go. Like, that's just dirty. Brian Flores would be a good head coach. Raiders' strength is defense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at Brian Flores. I wouldn't hate at that. I wouldn't hate on that one bit. But then is he going to be the defensive coordinator? You're going to hire a defense coordinator? Is he going to call the plays on defense? Does he call plays? Like, who's your offensive guy going to be? That's the question. That's my big question about all these coaches. It's not the coach himself. It's, are you going to screw up like Antonio Pierce did? Are you going to bring in the wrong offensive coordinator, the wrong quarterback coach, the wrong O-line coach, the wrong defensive coach, like the wrong special teams coach? Are you going to keep Luke Steckel in the building, who I believe deserves to be in this organization somehow? Like, what he's done with Brock Bowers is I don't even have words for. I don't even have words for what a coach did for, Brock Bowers was 6 yards away from becoming the 12th, no, the ninth tight end in the history of the NFL to go over 1,200 yards. 6 yards away, bro. All the records he broke, Luke Steckel is a mastermind, dude. I think that dude is a genius. And, the positions he's been in under guys like Vrabel as an assistant head coach, as the offensive assistant coordinator, all that shit. D-Menace in the building. I think you got to look at some guys in-house and what guys we're going to lose, because, damn, there's going to be a lot. Brian Flores has been a head coach and a DC. He knows defense. He would just have to hire an OC. And that's what I'm saying. That's the question, is who? Who does he bring in at OC? Does he, screw up like AP did and bring in somebody that's not experienced, or, somebody out of the college ranks that's not ready for the NFL? And then we're in the same spot we're in, right? We're in the same spot we're in. But yes, I agree. I think if you're going to fire an unexperienced coach, to bring in a guy like a Ben Johnson, even a Liam Cohen, any of these guys, Todd Moken, any of these cats that are inexperienced, you're setting yourself up for the same downfall as AP, expecting them to come in and, just snap your fingers and be a winning franchise in the playoffs. It takes time, bro. It takes time, especially just when Raiders. What's good? Just Raiders, baby. What's good? Especially when you don't have a quarterback and a running back. Like, AP did not have the shit he needed to succeed as a Raiders head coach. Will the next head coach have the shit he needs to succeed? And is that fair? Is that fair to bring in a head coach, give him a job, and not give him what he needs to succeed? Caruso, my guy, was good. Appreciate you pulling up. Because to me, that's rough. Like, if you're going to bring in a head coach and hand him the keys, but then let the offensive coordinator and the general manager, have a big say in who the quarterback should be or who the running back should be, a la Dylan Abe not getting any carries, which is just crazy to me. So, shit like that. But are you going to bring in the next head coach when you already have a GM. So we know Tom Telesco has the final say. How many head coaches are, offensive coordinators are willing to come in and take a job knowing that there's already a general manager in place that's going to have most of the say, and then they got a guy above him, Tom Brady, who's going to have, whatever say he wants in anything, and it's pretty much going to go is what the way it sounds to me. So I think it's going to be rough for them to get guys that want to come in and take over this job. I'm sorry. Like, I think it's going to be hard. And, there's reports that a lot of guys want this job. Of course, you have Brock Bowers. If you're an offensive coordinator, why would you not want this job? But then again, why would you want a job that if you don't win in your first year, you're going to be looking for another one? And that seems to be the case. Every 2 years, year and a half, whatever it is. I'm the same, Greg. What? So yeah, man, it's just it sucks. It sucks for Christian Wilkins, who came to this team because everybody talked up AP, right? He even said he came to this team because of Antonio Pierce. What does it do for a guy like that came in, the building, the facility, to be coached by a guy like Antonio Pierce? Jack Jones is in the building because of Antonio Pierce. A lot of guys, Caleb Chasen, a bunch of these people were brought in because Antonio Pierce wanted them here. So, there's that aspect of it also. I'm the same, Greg. What does that mean? That's what I prefer. The experienced head coach, Brian Flores, Mike Vrabel, Robert Saleh. No, come on, man. Well, I don't know. Dude, this shit sucks, bro. I cannot. Bro, I gotta tell you, I cleaned out my family storage unit too long, and I found a 19. What the what? And you're sending it to me, right? That's what you're gonna say? Come on, man. You can't tell me you found that and then not be like, what's your address? Fucking, for real? That's wild, dude. That's wild. That's crazy as hell. And yes, I would absolutely love it if you're sending it to me. I'm just saying. You can't blame a man for trying. Cowtown Luda in the building. There isn't another coach that will have less say. Oh, what? Damn it. I can't read this shit. Have less say in regards to personnel the same way Tom Telesco did over Pierce. Truth is, Mark just didn't trust Pierce, and Pierce didn't trust in himself. I mean, couldn't have said it better myself, right? That's a damn good point. AP said himself that he never trusted his gut. Like, if he learned one thing, it's to trust his gut. And, as a grown man, my biggest thing in life has always been to trust my gut. And when I haven't, which has been very seldomly, it never turned out good. So always trust your instincts. Always go with your gut. Never second guess yourself. Never second guess yourself. Especially if you have your dream job that you wanted, all your life to be part of an organization named the Oakland Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, whichever Raiders they were at the time. And then you finally get that job and you're in that spot and you don't do everything in your power to keep that job. I think, that's what I believe. Like, I think he let too many people have too many say. And as the head coach, rookie head coach or not, comes a time where you just got to be like, bro, I don't feel like that's what we need to do. And this is my job on the line and I'm making the call. Like, but did he have the power to do that? That is another question. We all hoped he was who he said he was. Facts. But when the rubber met the road, he didn't believe in himself. And I said that, I said that before, and I got called out on a live by my boy Chris from Protect the Shield podcast. It said, if you're calling AP a liar, just stand on business and call AP a liar. So I was like, fuck it, AP's a liar, dude. Like, because He said a bunch of shit that he didn't stand on. And then he came out and said, I don't bite my tongue. And to me, that rubbed me the wrong way. But the man is a rookie coach, and you got to learn from your mistakes. And as a human being that's made some bad choices in my life and some bad mistakes, I could never, ever, ever not give somebody a chance, to right their wrongs and to, to better themselves or to do better. And I think his biggest mistake and downfall to me was when he came in and said, when they asked him, what have you learned about yourself? Or again, and he said, go with your gut. And they said, when you say go with your gut, does that refer to Aiden O'Connell, going with Aiden O'Connell as a starter? And he said, yes. Or yeah, or whatever. Yeah, basically, yeah. But come on, man, that's not. What he should have said, in my opinion, is I made a mistake by not going with Aiden O'Connell and just came out and said it. Like he beat around the bush and hemmed and hawed and you didn't really take ownership. That's I think what Mark Davis wanted. I think Mark Davis wanted him to, take ownership and not point fingers, which he did, saying business decisions, you know, ask Tom Telesco upstairs why we're winning games. What do you mean? Why we're winning games? Because you're an NFL football team, and that's what you get paid to do is win football games. And Mark Davis said, just win, baby. I don't care about that shit. And then to fire him, I don't know. I think it's just how the Raiders do shit. He did bite his tongue all year until he knew he didn't have a job anymore. And, I felt that too. I felt in a lot of press conferences, like I said, he just came out in this one, right, with his chest out, cockier than he's ever been yesterday. And, not ever been, but it reminded me of when he took over the job and when they were asking him, what do you think about the coaches in the AFC? And he's like, I'm not worried about them. They're going to have to worry about AP, right? And I think he had swag to him then, and I think he lost that throughout the season, thinking, oh, shit, like, maybe I said too much shit. AP said go with his gut. Mark Davis listened to the owners. What? Listened to his own gut, right? Then pulled the trigger following day. So it is ironic. I mean, it is kind of ironic when you put it like that, right? Maybe he woke Mark Davis up. Maybe Mark Davis was like, damn, AP is right. Maybe I should trust my gut. How ironic. The same thing Pierce said, wanted from O'Connell to grab the bull by the horns. Holy fuck, my battery's dying. That is not good. Oh, shit. To grab the bull by the horns, take the job is a fact that he not... And with that, I'm going to have to end this live because Cowtown Luda, I mean, you should be doing these lives, bro. Like, could not have said it better myself. I got to find a damn plug somewhere. Shit. Time out. Problem solved. Bro, he effed up on how they let him go. Oh, I know. They should have canceled him on Sunday yesterday before he ever done that press. Mark is ass backwards for that. He is ass backwards for that. And this organization has been for a long time. If I see any Raider cards, you can have them all. I have way too many. I appreciate that. I will take any Raider cards you got. And anything else Raiders you got. Alright, let's see if this works. If I can charge this phone on the stand at the same time. Haha. Genius. Now if I can only change these damn letters to something I can read. Are the letters gray on the screen to y'all, or is it just on my screen? Because this shit is annoying, yo. And just Raider baby, I agree. They should have, they should have let him go after the game, like every other team did. They said, all right, we're done, but they let him come out, do a press conference, and then they let him come back on Monday doing a press conference, giving him false hope, thinking, okay, I'm under contract, I'm not fired, I made it through Black Monday, and they're sending me out to do a press conference. Unless something happened that we don't know about, it's great for y'all too. That's weird. Can y'all read it? Because I can barely read this shit at all. It is hard. It looks cool. It's Raiders colors, gray with a black trim, but damn, it is very hard to read. But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. Last 20 years, Raiders have 12 different coaches. How Davis family expect to build something when they are firing people every other year? And that's facts too, 100%. We've been saying that. I've been saying that. There's no we. I've been saying that on this channel for shit. When they hired AP, when they fired, not that I didn't want Dick Daniels to be fired, because it was time for him to go. He should have never been in a building. But just the fact that our longest head coach is 10 years. 10 years. The Steelers have had 3 head coaches in their organization, I do believe. 3. We have had 12, what'd you say, 12 in the last 20 years? 12 different coaches in 20 years. The Steelers have had 3 in their fucking franchise history. That is just crazy. So, yeah, 10 years for the great John Madden. I think 8 years for Tom Flores. And every other coach, minus them 2, Raider legends, have got 3 years or less, I do believe. 3 years or less. And there's been many, many, many coaches. So, yeah, you can't expect to build a winning culture, a winning organization, and you can't expect for players to bite into what you're preaching, with that fact. And you can't expect coaches to be like, okay, this is the job I want. I want to go coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, who's going to say that at this point right now? Unless you're trying to end your career, or unless you can turn this team around, within a year or a year and a half, which is crazy. Maybe if they had the first pick overall, maybe. Hire an experienced head coach and give him 5 years to rebuild. To rebuild shit the right way, like we should have done last season. If we had gone with Harbaugh instead of Antonio Pierce. If nuts were butts and butts were nuts, we'd all be fucked. So, if. I hate saying if, and, we could have did this, we should have did this. There's a lot of woulda, couldas in this franchise that, that just make people lose sleep at night. Maybe Mark Davis didn't want to be involved with AP and his car dealership debt anymore. Plus, I believe AP got fired on the last 2 wins. What? On the last 2 wins on weak teams. If you go back and look at our win record when he took over at interim coach, except for Patrick Mahomes, I think everybody we played last year when he was interim coach was a backup. If I'm not correct, we played the Giants. They had a backup. We played Minnesota. They had their backup. We played the Steelers. They had everybody we played when he was an interim head coach. Let me open this window. I gotta get some light in this bitch. Oh, good Lord. Oh shit, that's way too bright. Good Lord. I don't even know what I was saying again. Yeah, the car dealership shit, that's another thing too. And what I thought was stupid, and this is just me probably being stupid, saying I shouldn't say on a outlet I shouldn't be saying it on, but why in the hell, if you're $20 million in debt, battling, Nissan over all this shit that's going on in the news, in the media, how come every week you have a bigger chain? Like, did anybody notice it went from a little tiny gold chain to a bigger gold chain to two big gold chains, and then last week the size of that shit on his neck. Holy shit, bro! Like, I just I don't understand that shit. I don't. You're on the sidelines of a football game, and the same with the players. You know, wearing these fucking iced out necklaces and shit. Like, I know you have that much money, and it's, you know, it doesn't. But dude, how you not get tackled? And you know how many diamonds are laying on a field right there? I'd love to clean up NFL football fields. I'm gonna try to get a job doing that. There's probably so much gold and diamonds on that field. It's fucking ridiculous. They are all backups except Mahomes. That's what I said. Like, so we beat all backups except Mahomes. I mean, but we also had a backup in. That was a 4th round pick, so we can't say much either. And we didn't have Josh Jacobs for a lot of those games. We had a backup running back. But this year, we couldn't do shit, right? That's why myself and others said AP was hired based on the beating bad teams outside of the Chiefs. I mean, I think he was hired because the fans were. Do you say hired or fired? Before I start talking shit. I don't know. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, hired. I think he was hired because the fans were chanting AP, 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 and he wanted this job. He he believes in this organization. He wants to be a Raider. He wanted him to win. And like the short I put out with Tom Telesco saying, you know, AP's vision is AP's vision. Like, I'm not a part of this vision. I'm just giving him what he wants. But vision or not, you have to win. And I thought that said it all. But that statement was made after the 53-man roster was released. Tom Telesco was already throwing AP under the bus, in my opinion. If you don't believe me, go back and check out the short and make your own assumption. That's why I put it out there. But when I seen it, when I was watching videos, I was like, what? Damn. AP, blah, 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 blah. AOC was a backup to Jimmy your G. So he has beaten back up on his rookie year as a rookie. I don't believe in last year input. Yeah, last year is last year. We got to move on from that shit. As you can see from plenty of players, you know, like Zamir White, who exploded, positive necessary, the last 4 games of the year, and then just looked like a totally different player coming out this year, right? Damn, $20 million in debt. He got his debt paid last season with He got his debt paid at least with his 2-year, $20 million. I don't think that was the contract, was it? I don't know. I've never seen the contract. I tried to see it, but I don't think it was ever released, as far as I know. It's just been all speculation. But from what I heard, is it was 2 years, $8 million a season, which is only $16 million. But with the size of that chain on your neck, fucking, that was $1 million right there. No, but yeah, I mean, hey, maybe Mark Davis did him a favor. We're all talking like, you know, Mark Davis and Tom Telesco did AP, you know, dirty shit. Maybe they did him a favor. Maybe they hired him. You know, he's going to get $8 million or $10 million for not having to work for a whole year. I mean, come on, bro. You can fire me anytime you want to and pay me $10 million. Like, hey, I'm here right now. If you want to hire me for a year or however long you want to hire me and then fire me and pay me for that shit, bro, I'm not complaining. Especially if you can get a job somewhere else and still make millions. Fuck, dude, that's a hell of a gig right there. Would it not be crazy, AP with another Super Bowl with the Commanders as coaching positions such as linebacker coach? I could see that happening. And you know, you might see AP coaching somewhere else. What's your plan, Greg Lira? Walt in the building. What's good, my guy? It's been a minute. Glad to see you on the channel. No JJ McCarthy, and no Dylan Gabriel. I'm not on that Dylan Gabriel train. I gotta turn on this light, man. This is killing me. Damn, does this help? Fuck, that's a little better, but Jesus Christ. Sorry, I didn't expect it getting dark, but I'm not on that Dylan Gabriel train. I think he could be a good quarterback, but man, I'm not risking it. If you want my quarterbacks, of course, is Drew Alar. If the Raiders can, somehow talk him to coming into the NFL, but other than that, is Jackson Dart. Or my main guy is Riley Leonard, Notre Dame. I think Riley Leonard has a lot of comp to Josh Allen, and people keep calling me crazy. But if you go look at their numbers, compare them. You don't even have to do the work. You can just ask AI to compare Josh Allen's career rookie numbers to to Riley Leonard or to Jackson Dart, and then you tell me what you think, and then compare them to Shador or Cam Ward's, and be like, oh damn, there might be other quarterbacks in this draft, like a Riley Leonard at Notre Dame, like a Jackson Dart. I mean, I keep saying this over and over again. Jackson Dart comes from pretty much an NFL system. Lane Kiffin was a Raiders coach, right? Some of y'all may not be old enough to remember that, but I think everybody in my chat is old enough to remember that Lane Kiffin coached the Raiders. So he runs an NFL system, and he runs that NFL system everywhere he's went in college since he left the Raiders, and he ran it in college before he got to the Raiders. So, you know, Jackson Dart is in an NFL system, and the kid is very athletic. He has a damn good arm. I don't know why you wouldn't take a chance. Take a chance in the second, the third. You know, Riley Leonard is Daniel Jones. Riley Leonard is not Daniel Jones. He's way faster. I think he makes smarter decisions. I don't think he has as strong as arm as Daniel Jones. But, I mean, I could be wrong. He could be. But I'm telling you, at 6'4", I think he's more of a Josh Allen type. He doesn't have, the strong arm like Josh Allen, like I said. But you can develop that. You can get stronger in the NFL. Yes, Lincoln Riley showed up in the last 2 seasons to say he deserved and be fired. Right? Dude, I can't read this chat at all now that I turned that light on. That is horrible. Plus, he never lived up to the hype as Oklahoma coach. Due to straight ass, Jackson Dart doesn't come from an NFL offense. It's one target or run. They do in Mississippi. What in Ole Miss? Nah, bro. They run a lot of spread. They run a lot. They run a lot of NFL offense. They are a run team. They do run the ball first. Well, I'm telling you, Lane Kiffin runs that shit. Maybe it's time. But is it time for Lane Kiffin? With the way he's been coaching in college, if Notre Dame somehow wins out and pulls it out, pause if necessary. Does he get another coaching job in the NFL? Are teams looking at him? What he's done with the quarterbacks he's coached coming out of there. Yes, Riley Leonard shown enough in the last 2 games to say he deserved to be fired. What? Nick Saban is head coach. Bro, I don't know. We seen how Jacksonville did bringing in a SEC coach, from LSU, who was one of the top coaches in college football at the time. That didn't work out very good. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but I don't think Nick Saban is coming to the NFL. I think he gets paid just fine where he's at. He's good. I think he did his time. I mean, but money talks. I don't know. Like I said, I think the Raiders just need to do a long, in-depth, search as many head coaches as possible. And I think that's one of the reasons why they got rid of Antonio Pierce. so soon because so many teams were already having interviews with a bunch of guys, and they were like, "Shit, we're gonna miss out like we did last year on offensive coordinators, on defensive coordinators. Unless we get a head coach that can convince guys to coming over." But see, now the Doug Peterson talk, I don't know, man. I don't know. As an offensive coordinator, maybe for a year or two, to see if he could still, work his shit in the NFL. But I don't know with the team he's had over there and the weapons he's had. And I know you could say injuries or whatever, but every team has injuries, and the best head coach shines when they have the least, right? When they can make it work with the least amount. I don't think Kellen Moore will help us. I don't know. Nick Saban said 3 or 4 weeks ago Dylan Gabriel will be playing on Sundays. Hey, Nick Saban has said a lot. Nick Saban also has a lot of guys that has come out of Alabama that are struggling in the NFL. Either Dallas or the Raiders will hire Lincoln Riley, you think? As offensive coordinator or as head coach? USC didn't do very good last year. Watch the tape like who? Question mark. What? There's a possibility. I don't even know what the fuck's it. To pick up Peterson on a 2-year prove-it deal. Watch the tape like who? HC. What? I'm lost, Walt. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Kellen Moore as head coach. Look, I wouldn't be mad taking a chance on any of these guys, but I mean, besides their offensive minded coaches, if you're gonna go with an experienced head coach that you don't really know about, why not just stick with AP and see what he could have done? I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. I'm telling you, Kellen Moore gonna help the Raiders. If he gets an interview. I'm a USC fan, so take it as you want to. Head coach who don't want to win a game that matters. There's a reason why USC's football schedule is weak next season. Yeah, it probably is. I don't know. They got that quarterback that transferred from UNLV. Can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it looked like it lit a fire under that team a little bit. Look, he's gonna help the Eagles in the playoffs. Kellen Moore was fired as OC by 2 teams. Don't listen to Walt. What? Rebel, he's not positive. Hey, when you're a Raiders fan, it's hard to be positive. So I can't. Hey, look, I try to be positive, and it's fucking hard. It's hard as hell. It's hard being positive. Well, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Welcome to Raiders Unleashed. Yeah, Kellen Moore was fired as the OC twice. But who do you have around him? I don't know. I'll have to go do my research and check it out. Because I don't really know. Phalangio is probably the reason. But you can also say Saquon Barkley is the reason. Like, it don't take a genius to hand Saquon Barkley the ball. He helped the Chargers last year. Who? Kellen Moore? What if Patrick Graham becomes, man? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about Patrick Graham. I have no idea. Would I want Patrick Graham as the head coach? Is this run? Is he going to be able to stop the run? Maybe if he gets to pick personnel, it would get better. I don't know. But if you look at Patrick Graham's record on the teams he's been on, Miami, you know, the fuck other was the other one. I don't even know. But in the Raiders, the Giants, they all have losing records with him as defensive coordinator. So if somebody wants to take a chance to give him a head coaching job, that's fine. But he interviewed for head coaching jobs last year and didn't get it. And I don't know if he turned them down or what. But fuck, I missed that last question. I cannot see that. OMG, Kellen Moore is cheeks. Oh, it's all how Kellen Moore runs his offense. It's a good scheme for the players. Shane, but that's the thing, though. You know, Kellen Moore, you have a mobile quarterback that makes it hard for defenses when you have a Saquon Barkley. When you have a running back and a mobile quarterback, you know, that can beat you with his arms and his legs, it's hard for defenses to defend. It makes, you know, it's a three-headed monster. You don't know if they're going to run the ball. You don't know if they're going to keep it on an RPO, on a read option. You don't know if it's play action. There's just so many shit. And then once you start putting motion involved in that, and then, you know, you got two of the best receivers over there, it's not always the coordinator or, you know, look at Dick Daniels for the Raiders, right? Look how good he was with the Patriots. They were one of the best offenses in the history of the NFL with Tom Brady. But look what he did with the Broncos. Look what he did with the Raiders. Like, so it's personnel. You have to have the right guys around you to run your system. And I think he has that there in the Eagles. And I don't know why my phone is dying. I don't know why he would leave that. This sucks ass, bro. What the fuck is going on? And I don't know why you would leave that to. What the fuck is that? I don't know why you leave that to go to a Raiders organization that doesn't keep their head coaches. Like, that's another reason I don't think Ben Johnson, unless they offer him, you know, a 10-year deal, you know, 3 guaranteed, and then whatever after that, I don't see that man coming here either. Telling you, Kellen Moore did last year with nothing. He had Justin. Yeah, their offense was fire. The Chargers' offense was fire, but their defense could not keep them in games. And had the number one offense in. So, Shane, are you saying as a head coach or as offensive coordinator? Because, like I said, he's not going to make a lateral move. And I don't know about head coach, bro. I don't know. Kellen Moore is a G for us. Good. Oh, man, what the fuck is going on with this? I don't know where that's on. Damn it. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do with Robbie Leonard? Because if Robbie Leonard doesn't come back as defensive line, you know, as a defensive line coach, I think there's going to be a lot of pissed off Raiders in the building. Number one, Max Crosby, you know, all of them. I think they all have high praise for Robbie Leonard, and you know, I think our defensive line is still one of our bright spots and one of our strengths on this defense. So, man, there's so many questions with firing AP. It just makes it rough. All coaches are gone. Is that a fact, Walt? Have they fired? Have they released everybody, or are you just guessing? Because if that's the case, well then it makes this live a whole nother story, right? Because then we have a whole bunch of shit to talk about, other than who's going to be the head coach and who's going to be the DC. All position coaches. Oh, fire all position coaches for the Eagles. No. Yo, crazy. Can we all root to Lions to lose in the playoffs so we don't have to wait for Ben Johnson? Man, Ben Johnson is a reach, bro. It's a reach. It's a long, long reach. But money talks, right? And he said his main thing is stability. So, like I said, if you offer him a 3-year deal and you let him, pick his guys in the draft, which you better hire him very, very fast if that's the case, because you need longer than a month and a half to come up with your draft picks. I want the Raiders to hire all the Eagle position coaches. They're good. They're good with that head coach and his system. Like, that's not always going to be the case everywhere. And we'll see how the Eagles do in the playoffs. I think when you have the best running back in the NFL, it's going to be hard to beat, especially come playoff time. Well, yeah, Patrick Graham has already said that he is not renewing his contract, but that doesn't mean that he won't take a raise. They just want to renew his contract at where it is. They want to pay him what they're paying him last year. They want to pay him that next year. And he said no. He declined, he declined that shit. He was like, nope, I ain't doing it. I'm not staying put. I'm tired of losing. So unless they pay him more money or offer him a head coach job, he's out of the building for sure. But, there are guys like Joe Philbon who people are very highly of in the building. And like I said, Robbie Leonard. You never know what they're going to do. Who the fuck? The wide receivers coach. The wide receiver coach. What the hell's the wide receiver coach name? I don't know why I can't think of his name. That dude's been in the building like, shit, probably longer than the building's been there. So, yeah, I believe they're going to fire the whole entire staff, except for maybe 1 or 2 guys. They might be like, these guys aren't going nowhere. And I think Robbie Leonard could be one of those guys, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Patrick Graham is entering for the Bengals DC job, and he is also interviewing for the Jacksonville Jaguars job. I think that would be a good spot for Patrick Graham with Jacksonville. They have a pretty solid defensive core over there. They have a good young running back. They have Trevor Lawrence. They just signed to a big-ass deal. I think anybody that takes the Jacksonville job is going to be set up pretty nice. They have a high draft pick. Like, the Jacksonville job looks very, very good. And I think John Gruden might really like that. Leslie Frazier, a.k.a. the Gow. What? All right, so what else? Who do we keep around? Let me know in the comments. Who are the key players that need to stay in the building, no matter who comes in? Because I think we're gonna see a whole different team than we've seen the last 2, 3, 3, 4, even 4 years. Like, I think Nate Hobbs, Trayvon Morig, I think a lot of these guys might not be here. I think with the 10 draft picks we have, I mean, damn. that's half a roster, right? That's an offensive side or a defensive side. $120 million in free agency. I mean, you can buy a Super Bowl, right? We could literally buy a Super Bowl. And it's been done before. There's been teams, you know, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, their first year in the league, right? They got all these great players from all these other teams, and then they went and paid all the money they had to make it to the Super Bowl. Like, you can buy a Super Bowl. And I think at this point, Mark Davis, with all the money he has, he needs to just buy a Super Bowl, right? When you have $120 million in salary cap, do what the Ravens did. You know, do what Tampa Bay did. Go buy all the big time key players and make it to the Super Bowl. Head coach Lincoln Riley in Salah's DC. I don't see Mark Davis taking a chance on a young college head coach. I just don't see him going that route. I could be wrong. It's happened once before. Got to re-sign Robert Spillane for sure. I don't think we're going to be able to pay Robert Spillane, to be honest. To be completely transparent, I don't think we do. I think we're going to lose Robert Spillane. And here's why. There's a lot of teams that need a middle linebacker, and one is the Buffalo Bills. And I think if the Buffalo Bills, fall short in the playoffs this year, they're at that point where they're going to spend everything they got to bring in, and plug every single hole they have. And I think Robert Spillane fits that bill. There's been a lot of talks that, the Bills are going to be all in Robert Spillane in free agency. And it might be a bidding war. And I don't know if Tom Telesco, a.k.a. Coupon Tom, is willing to pay that money for Robert Spillane. You mean the Bucks? I don't know. No, the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills. I think. Is it the Bucks? I could swear it was the Bills. I might be wrong. Tom Telesco isn't re-signing no one. I mean, that's obvious. It's a weak free agent market. It is, and it's a weak fucking draft too. So he's gonna let us get worse. Oh my goodness. OMG, we can't play Spillane with 110 million. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we can't pay him. I'm saying Tom Telesco won't. His price is going to be, I think, very, very high. Way more than what we're paying him right now. And I think we have a lot of holes to fill, like I said. And I don't know. It just depends. It depends on what he wants. Maybe maybe he'll come play for the Raiders for less. Maybe he gets offered more and turns it down because he wants to be here. But with Patrick Graham being gone, or possibly being gone, AP being out of the building, I don't know. Maybe Spillane doesn't want to be here either. There might be a lot of people that don't want to be here now. I think it doesn't matter if Thomas Telesco is our GM. I think we get worse. I hope you're wrong on that, my guy Shane. No hire Patrick Graham as head coach. He is trying to keep our defensive pieces, then hire a good OC. If he tries to keep the defense together and most of the defensive staff, I'm not mad at that. I think Patrick Graham would be a better head coach than a defensive coordinator personally. For one, as a defensive coordinator, your job is to stop offenses, right? So the best offenses that are the hardest for you to go up against, formations, quarterbacks, everything about running backs, because you have to study these guys constantly because you play them every single day. So I think defensive coordinators, and I mean, you can say the same thing for an offensive coordinator, has to know defense, the same thing. But for a defensive coordinator, I think you got a heads up because you know what it takes on offense to win, and I think that's where AP kind of was lacking. Like he had a vision of where he wanted it to go, smash mouth, but just nobody could get him to that vision, and I think that's kind of what killed him. I'm hoping the Raiders don't f this up. Get it? I can't read that because it went away. We all want to go to the Super Bowl. Why is Tom Telesco bad? Bauer, JP, Glaze. Telesco is bad. I'm not saying Tom Telesco's bad. I'm just not sold on Tom Telesco. I think Tom Telesco set Antonio Pierce up for failure, and I'm gonna stand on my word. I'm gonna stand on my shit, and that's what I believe. I believe that it was just lights out for Antonio Pierce from the get go. You bring in Tom Brady, which AP beat in the Super Bowl. You bring in Tom Telesco, which got fired after AP and the Raiders put up 63 points on him. Like it was just never gonna work from the get go. In my opinion, it was bad. It was bad to think that shit was ever gonna work out. And go watch the short I just did of Tom Telesco. I already said this, but go watch the short I put out of Tom Telesco, and make your own opinion of it. But on the other hand, to that, we've been mocking drafts for years. Yeah, but we've had good people in the building. Now, on the other hand of that, let me finish what I was saying, is Tom Telesco doesn't make all the decisions. If you go watch Hard Knocks, go watch Hard Knocks with the Giants, with the Browns, with anybody. Go watch any Hard Knocks episode you want to and see what happens behind the scenes in the war room. The general manager has guys coming in constantly saying, okay, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. That dude ain't doing. He got other shit to do. He might watch tape on a couple guys. He might have his own opinion of guys. But you have scouts doing most of your work. And then you have, 15 people in the war room, which is, ex-players, coaches, all the staff, and they all have their own opinion. And if you watch the Giants shit, that general manager says, all right, this player, this player, this player, this player. And they say yay or nay. Like, it's a group decision. So you can't say Tom Telesco pick Brock Bowers, pick JPJ, pick DJ Glaze. The DJ Glaze situation, if you watch Joe Philbon's interview, which he hasn't had many this year, so it shouldn't be hard to find. Watch Joe Philbon's interview. He said he had an hour Zoom call with DJ Glaze. And he was sold on DJ Glaze. So I'm sure that was a former head coach in Joe Philbon saying, we need to draft this guy. DJ Glaze is going to be that dude. I don't think that was Tom Telesco. I think it was the people in the building. I think, a lot of guys like Amari Gaynor and, a lot of these defensive guys, I think AP had a lot to do with the guys we drafted. I think Brock Bowers was a situation that he wasn't even, he was tops on everybody's board, but it was a dream scenario. Everybody thought Brock Bowers was going to be gone by number 10. So it's not like, Tom Telesco moved up to get Brock Bowers. It's not like, that was their number one guy and they were sold on, getting a tight end because the tight end wasn't even in their mindset. They had just got Michael Mayer. So Brock Bowers just happened to fall to 10 or 12 or wherever the fuck we were at in the draft. 13, I don't know. But wherever we were at, Brock Bowers fell and you couldn't pass on him. You'd be stupid, and Tom Telesco would have been fired if he would have passed on him. And I'm sure a couple of guys that got fired this year might have been those guys that passed on Brock Bowers. Like, you can't pass on a generational talent like that if you look at what he did in college and, all the numbers and all the accolades and shit that man has. The draft was not all Tom Telesco. And, I hate when people say Tom Telesco did this, Antonio Pierce did this. It's a team. There's no I in team. It's a group organization. They all collaborate. They all put their minds together. But most of it is the scouts saying, all right, this is the guy. Now, we seen Antonio Pierce sitting in a bunch of places last year, when they were doing their pro days. I seen Tom Telesco maybe once or twice. I don't know how many he was at, but I seen a lot of Raider coaches. We've also seen the assistant Champ Kelly, all over this year at all the bowl games. I haven't seen Tom Telesco at any of these places. So to say Tom Telesco drafted these guys is just wild to me. Raph in the building. Shane, if they called to offer the GM, it would be the first thing to do. What? Oh, I got you. Shane, answer this question. If they called you and offered you the GM job, what would be the first thing you do? Good question, Raph. Do a mock. Number 6, 37, and second, third picks, fourth. You want me to do a mock? Right now? Right now? I'm on the phone. I can't do a mock on the phone. I'll tell you what. What time is it? I will come back on later on tonight and do a mock. If that's what you want. I don't know. Shane says, I would get a head coach, then resign key guys that helped us. I would then go into free agency and see who's there. Okay, fair point. Anybody do a mock? I mean, I could do a mock, but y'all won't be able to see it. Can I do it on this fucking phone? No, I can't do it. Wait, hold up. Give me a second. 1 second. I might be able to. I don't know this app, dude. I'm not. I can't. It's not working. So Shane says he would get it. Yeah, but that's not a fair point, Raph. You gotta be more critical like that. You're being soft like AP now. That's gonna cost you your job. That's not really a good point, Shane. Like, what head coach? First, you got to have a head coach in mind. Like, who's your guy? Who's your number one guy? And then who's the staff? Because you can't just hire a coach unless you know who he plans to bring in. See, that's another thing that a lot of people, I'll do a mock. Okay, you do a mock. Do a mock right now. I can't see it, though. Anybody do a mock? Shit. I mean, I could do one. Y'all can't see it. Give me 2 seconds. I don't know what the point of doing a mock draft is if nobody can see it, though. I would hire Kellen Moore and offer Ben Johnson the OC and DC to Robert Saleh. Well, I mean, that sounds great. No shit, he says. I mean, that sounds great, but number one, my guy Shane, Ben Johnson can't make a lateral move. You can't interview a guy unless it's for an upper position if he's under contract. So, X-nay on that part, you'd have to find a new offensive coordinator. The second option would be Lincoln Riley from college. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at bringing in a Lincoln Riley or shit, even a Lane Kiffin or one of these guys. Bendrock, what the hell's his name? I got a note somewhere. Mike Denbrock from Notre Dame. I think a lot of these offensive coordinators in college would make damn good OCs. I talked about it last night. A lot of people talk about Pete Carroll coming to the Raiders, or maybe they should go after Pete Carroll because he's a damn good football coach and you can build a damn good system. Just look at his coaching tree. But he also has a son in Washington that's the offensive coordinator named Brennan Carroll. which from what I've seen and what I heard is pretty damn good. So, that might also be an option too. I would offer Dan Lanning from Oregon as OC. I don't know. I think that's going to be hard to do nowadays for two reasons. For two reasons. Because with the NIL, if you look at the contract that Belichick signed in college, these guys are making so much money in college now that why would you leave a college head coaching job to go be an offensive coordinator and have somebody else tell you what to do? Yes, you're leaving college and going to the NFL and you're getting your foot in the door, which might help, but getting your foot in the door on, a losing franchise for the last 20-something years might not help your cause on building your career. AOC 12, thanks for pulling up. I hope you don't get replaced either, my guy, but you're under rookie contract, so unless they trade for you, you ain't going nowhere. Also signed Justin Fields. I said that last year. Bring in a Justin Fields. Back to the Tom Telesco thing. They didn't interview Justin Fields, who they could have got for a 6th-round flipping pick this year. A 6th-round pick, Justin Fields. Look how good he played at the beginning of the season and then was benched because they didn't want to have to pay him, trade a 4th-round pick instead of a 6th. So they put him on the bench and went with Russell Wilson. But Russell Wilson also came to Las Vegas and interviewed for the Raiders quarterback position job, and it only lasted 2 hours. Tom Telesco and AP said no. So who was the one that made the call on Russell Wilson and said no? This guy's not going to cut it. Was it Tom Telesco? Was it AP? Like, these are things I would love to know. No on Justin Fields. Yeah, I mean, Walt, you can say that, but would you say no on Sam Darnold because you've seen him play with the Jets? Would you say no on Baker Mayfield because you've seen him play with the Carolina Panthers or with the Browns? I know it was a 45-second delay, so I'll wait. The reason I'm asking this question, that you're not going to answer, I guess, is because Baker Mayfield was drafted in the 1st round. Everybody called him a bust, said he was trash, said he would never make it in the NFL. He'd be nothing but a backup. I do believe he's killing it in Tampa Bay. Sam Darnold, 6 years in the NFL as a backup, said he wasn't going to be shit. Never be a starting quarterback in the NFL. In his 1st year in Minnesota, taking his team to the playoffs. Kind of like a Matthew Stafford case, Everybody said he was shit. Could never make it in the NFL. Would never make the playoffs. So, for you to say you've seen Justin Fields play in Chicago and you're out, just baffles me that somebody could say they've seen him play one time in another organization. Who was his OC? It was Luke fucking Getsy, bro. You're telling me Justin Fields can't play in the NFL because he failed under Luke Getsy? Gardner Minshew failed under Luke Getsy. Aiden O'Connell, I mean, if you want to say it, failed under Luke Getsy. Oh, I'm not saying Justin Fields is great. I'm just saying the way you said that is because you've seen him play. But we've seen him play this year, and, if the system that we had this year, which was dink and dunk, was perfect for Justin Fields. He doesn't have to throw the ball 20 yards. We only threw the ball over 20 yards like 8 times the whole entire year. Salute my guy, what's good, New England Raider Booster. So, the Raiders only threw the ball over 20 yards less than 10 times, I believe, the whole season. So Justin Fields not being able to see downfield wouldn't have been such a bad idea to bring in a guy that's mobile, that can run the RPO, that can run, read option, that can run play action, that can roll out, which what they wanted Gardner Minshew to do, and can throw short passes. Like, it would have been better than what we had. It would have been better what we had with Gardner Minshew. I'm just saying. Uh, what a shit show this is. My show's always a shit show. Just saying. Steelers didn't score more than 21 points with Fields. I know, but they didn't have. Yes, they did. They scored 38 points against the Raiders with Fields. So that's not a fact. They murdered us. Maybe on average, they could have averaged 21 points a game. But Justin Fields did damn good. Like, I thought he did pretty good against us. I know he missed some throws. And no, he's not that quarterback. But look how long it took Lamar Jackson to become the man he is right now. Everybody said the same thing about Lamar Jackson as they say about Justin Fields. He can't see downfield. He has no accuracy. He doesn't make good throws under pressure. Rebel, if Robert Salah didn't take the DC job, offering Leslie Frazier DC job. Do you think Fields would have been any better than Jalen Milroe? No. No, but I'm not a Milroe fan. Like, I think, with his speed and his size, he's a damn good running back. And if you're trying to go that route, then, he'd be a good quarterback. But I think he's the same as Justin Fields. Bad decision making, has a way stronger arm than Justin Fields. Just doesn't see down the field right. He can't see the defenders that aren't one-on-one with his guy. Like, he has no vision. And having no vision as a quarterback is not good in the NFL. But, look, I'm not saying Justin Fields is great. I'm just saying he would have been a better option than Gardner Minshew. Like, anybody would have been a better. And with Luke Getsy's system, the only reason we didn't bring him in is because we had Luke Getsy, which that didn't work very good. So, Luke Getsy has failed in the Raiders. He failed with Gardner Minshew, who did pretty good the year before with the Colts. He failed with Justin Fields. He couldn't win with Aiden O'Connell. So anybody that was in Luke Getsy's system and failed, I'm not going to hate on, because that's just rough right there. Just to see the price of it. What? Would you try to get Hill from the Dolphins? It failed. Wilson from the Jets wide receiver. In free agency, with the money we have, I just said I would buy a Super Bowl. I would definitely buy a Super Bowl. And that means paying the best players at every position. Because we're at that spot. We have too many key pieces and young pieces. We just need a mix of some veteran guys and, a couple more Max Crosby, JPJ mentality guys, Michael Mayer, guys that have that grit, that want to win, that will do anything to win. And that's all they care about. And I think we'll be good. But yes, in free agency, go after everybody. Tyreek Hill, I don't know. I've never been sold on small receivers. And yes, that dude is the cheetah, and it just depends on who your quarterback is. If it's Aiden O'Connell, no, because Aiden O'Connell seems to overthrow Trey Tucker on every single play. So his timing is not very good with speedy receivers. I don't think that would work. It just depends. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to tell you to get wide receiver Justin Fields. No, I don't think they're offering Justin Fields whatever he wants. I'm talking about trading for them. We might not have to trade for him. If Tyreek says he wants out, I guess you'd have to trade for him. But I'm not giving up draft picks for any of those guys. Now, what's his face in the Jets? Absolutely, Wilson. Bro, come on. General manager Walt. What? Would try to trade the number 6 and 1/3 for J.J. McCarthy or give Trey Lance a 1-year deal. I would trade for J.J. McCarthy. I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those guys last year saying J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, really any one of those quarterbacks. I wasn't mad, and everybody kept saying, you know, Drake May's not it. He's not going to be that guy. Michael Penix is not it because he's left-handed. And I watched tape on all those guys, and I wouldn't have been mad with either one of those quarterbacks in the draft last year, really. The top 6 quarterbacks that went in the first round, they went in the first round for a reason. Those motherfuckers, they were good. They were good. They were all good quarterbacks. So, yeah, trading for McCarthy, what'd you say, our 6th and our 3rd? Maybe the 64th pick. What do we have? 64, 69? 69, 64. I would do that. I think J.J. McCarthy's worth a 1 and a 3. Like, they traded a 1 and a 4 just to get him last year. To move up to get him. So, I think, you know, after we seen just a little bit what we've seen in the NFL in preseason, I think he's definitely worth that. Trey Lance, a 1-year deal. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad, you know, bring him in, let him compete, see what he can do. He's shown flashes. He's shown flashes here and there, but just decision making is horrible with this man. And I'm not in on Dylan Gabriel. Carter at Penn State at 6. Shane Butler. That's why I love you, my guy. Yeah, that man is a dog. I don't even know at this point if he's going to be there at 6, dude. Yeah, he wants out, but will they trade him? That's the question. That time is gone. Now what? What time is gone? We should draft Carter from Penn State. I'm totally good with that. I'm totally good with that. But then you got to think if we bring back, you know, if you bring back Malcolm Kuntz, then you got Malcolm Kuntz, you got Max Crosby, you got Tyree Wilson, you got Snowden. Damn, Christian Wilkins, Jonah Lalu. This defensive line would be extremely nasty, bro. Extremely. You need to look at Dylan Gabriel's tape. I've watched Dylan Gabriel. I watched a lot of tape. I think he's pretty accurate. I think, you know, what he's done with the kind of makeshift offensive line he's had over there this year, it's pretty impressive. I'm scared that, you know, a 6-foot quarterback, which I don't even think he's that. I think he's like 5'10". They try to say he's 6 foot, whatever, but I'm just, you know, Kyler Murray, that says it all, right? To me, if small quarterbacks, I don't know. It's just, they just scare me at 6 foot. And he's not even that fast. Like, he's athletic. He reminds me, you know, kind of a Patrick Mahomes. You know, he's not fast. He's not really very, very athletic. He's just crafty. He's very crafty and elusive, which I guess you got to be smart to do that. But I don't like Dylan Gabriel. I don't. I would take Jackson Dart over Dylan Gabriel in a heartbeat. I would take Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame over Dylan Gabriel. And I could be wrong on Dylan Gabriel. Which quarterback, if Sanders or Ward are gone, you fighting? Number 1 target, 2 runs, Jackson Dart. What? Riley Leonard is going to be some work too, though. Riley Leonard, like I said, is a project. He's not one of those guys that can come in and start right away. He's going to have to sit and learn the speed of the NFL, which I think every quarterback in this draft is going to have to do. Other than Drew Alar, I think is the most advanced quarterback in this draft. Just look what he's doing in Penn State. I mean, it's wild what the kid is doing over there. Like, his passes are crisp. He reads defenses good. He has a good internal clock. You know, he knows when pressure's coming without having his head on a swivel constantly. He can pick up plays with his legs if he has to. The problem is the kid's not coming out. And, you know, unless they can make him come out, which if they win the championship, maybe he changes his mind. I don't know. I've seen enough in the bowl game to be like Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. You have to create passing lanes for shorter guys. And my thing with Dylan Gabriel is Garner Minshew. He's Garner Minshew, 100%. Like, he's a smaller guy. You have to create lanes. You have to roll out of the pocket, you know, and hit guys on the run. I think Dylan Gabriel can throw way better on the run than Garner Minshew. I'm not comparing him to him. I'm just saying, you know, and Jackson Dart, he's only 6'2". It's only 2 inches, but 2 inches matters. Ask your old lady. I'm just saying. Yeah, the deflected passes and, you know, the way they put pressure on him. And I thought Dylan Gabriel, they said one of his strengths was he was like a Jaden Daniels, you know, when it came to standing in the pocket, taking hits, not folding under pressure. But I didn't see that in this last bowl game. I know they were 12-0. I know they played some damn good teams, but I didn't see that in this last bowl game. I seen the pressure get to him. I seen him, you know, making bad throws, making error throws, a lot of tip balls. Look at Jackson's start tape. He's number one target or run. No progression, 2 or 3 targets. Yeah, he doesn't go through his progressions much. He does. I mean, he does, but there's a reason he doesn't go through his targets. A big, big reason. Hey, hold up. Let me pull this up for you, Mr. Walt. Because I do have this on the computer, I think. Shit, maybe not. And people are going to get tired of my repetition. They're going to be like, bro, it's the same thing. Oh, fuck, I don't have it. But yeah, I don't think he goes through his progressions as much as he could. I think he could make better decisions. I think in the last game of the season where he threw, you know, 3 interceptions in the last 2 or 3 minutes, I thought was horrible. Sometimes, you know, he tries to push it. But I said Jackson Dart is a project too. He's not going to come in the NFL and start in the first year and just wow people. Like, you can, but if you do that, then to me you're making him like a Will Levis. You know, you're putting too much pressure on him. A guy that's not projected to be drafted in the first round, drafted first pick, you know, second round, and then thrown into the fire to start. And look at how he's struggling. I mean, look at how the number 1 pick, Caleb Williams, is struggling. So I think guys need to sit. And if you can get a guy and let him sit under a good quarterback coach, the sky's the limit. But I have watched tape on Jackson Dart, and it just depends. I think a lot of the times he doesn't go through his progressions. I think he believes in his arm a little bit too much. And I think he has, you know, he's just one of those guys that thinks he can make every throw. And it doesn't matter if it's double coverage or triple coverage. He thinks that, you know, he can fit the ball in there. And sometimes it comes back to bite him. But more times than not, he usually completes that shit. So I would love to see a quarterback definitely go through as many progressions as possible. You don't always want to hit the first guy, but if that guy's open or you think you can hit him, then throw the ball, right? I'll ask my future lady. Ohio State has Titans. What? Just like Penix went against Michigan. Talk about #1 game. Facts. I like Jackson Dart, wide receiver. Down the field, Trey Harris. Trey Harris is a dog. Trey Harris is a dog. #3 in the 7th round. I don't see Trey Harris making it out of the 1st round, to be honest with you. I know he's projected, you know, maybe 2nd or 3rd round, but I think when the combine comes up and, you know, if he decides to play in any of these bowl games, I think his stock is definitely going to rise too. Trey Harris is, that dude's a freak of nature, man. No, Lane Kiffin often has no progressions. What? Who else? What other quarterbacks we got that nobody's talking about? Ohio State quarterback, Will Howard. What do y'all think about Will Howard? Now, I know the Raider Nation is, you know, we have to have that mobile quarterback. He has to run the ball first and then pass second. That's not how you win football games. But if you look at Will Howard in Ohio State, the man is killing it. The man is killing it over there. And if they continue to win games in this college playoffs and win the college playoffs, how can you not look at Will Howard? Like, he has to move up the draft boards, in my opinion. The way that man's been playing. Kyle McCord. What was that, Syracuse? If Drew Allard comes out, be crazy. Titans, Browns, and Giants will snatch all 3 quarterbacks. Yeah, I mean, all 3 are quarterback-needy teams, right? And I think they're definitely taking a chance on Shedeur. But there's a lot of people that say, you know, on their draft board that Shedeur's not a first-round pick. I've seen many reports. Fucking dog's gonna be loud. Mom's home. But I've seen many reports on people saying they don't think Shedeur is a first-round pick. So, you know, this draft is going to be crazy. It's going to be very interesting. But I'm going to get off here. I appreciate y'all. Much love. I might be back on later on the computer when I can bring up more shit. And we might do a mock draft. So stay tuned. Check me out. Like, subscribe, follow. Raiders. Peace.